In this example, we're going to be using a antique color effect to our picture. So we're going to actually change the picture to a black and white image, do a self blend, and make a Gaussian blur to it so that the final result will look like we've hand painted the actual picture. This was done several years ago when we were working with black and white photography. With black and white photography, you didn't have the advantage of using color, so you had to actually hand paint all of the pictures yourself. So we're going to go back old school with this example. So the first step is to make a black and white conversion. You go to your adjustments panel and click black and white conversion. In the black and white conversion properties panel, you can actually make adjustments to each of the variations of colors to convert this picture as you see fit. For the blues and the water and the sky, I'm going to brighten that up a bit. And you can do this by case basis for each image. After that's done, you're going to click back onto the background image and make a self blend. Self blend is pressing the command J key, so you're duplicating the layer. We'll grab that duplicated layer and bring it to the top of the stacking order just by clicking and dragging to the top. Next, we'll create a Gaussian blur. So we'll go to the filters menu, drop down menu, go to blur, Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur here, we're going to give it a large pixel radius, somewhere at least 10. We're going to really blur out this image. So we're pushing the color outside of the edges of where they normally appear. So as you can see, everything is quite blurred. We're going to use this to our advantage. Click OK for that effect to take place. And then we're going to go to the blend modes drop-down panel and choose any one of these contrast modes of overlay, soft light, or hard light. We'll start with overlay, and as you can see, it really has this nice soft effect. Disregard how dark it gets because we'll make changes to that in a moment. We'll switch to soft light, and as you can see, it's a softer type of contrast that is used for this example. And then hard light is a bit harder of a mix than what it was with overlay. We'll try hard light for this example here. Now you notice that the dark values are quite dark and we're losing a lot of detail there. So what we're going to be doing is using the advanced blending option. We'll double click on the picture in the background copy and we'll go get into the layers style dialog box. We'll go to the blend if mode, grab the black section of this layer and we'll drag this out. So what we're basically doing is telling Photoshop that anywhere between 60 and 255 will be having visible areas of dark to light areas. Everything beyond this section here will be disregarded. As you can see, we have these amoebas that are kind of eating away at our pictures. We want to have a transition zone. So we'll click the Option key to split this header and then just simply drag this one way or the other to get a nice transition back and forth. Great thing with this example here, this is not going to be permanent, so we can always go back and make adjustments later. Click OK from this example here, and now we have some areas here. It has some nice painted sections here, but you notice that we lose some of the detail in some of the trees and some of the plant life here from the black and white conversion. So we can just simply click on the layer mask of the black and white conversion, use our paintbrush, and paint with black. We'll use a lower opacity, and start to paint away at some of these areas to bring in back some of those colors. Okay, so you're literally using your paintbrush to paint back in some of the colors back into the example here. If I increase the opacity a bit further, you can actually see that we're really pushing the color in some of those areas, such as the sky, such as the trees here. It's really on a personal basis of which particular image you want to work with. I'll click the Option key at the very bottom to see the before, after effect.